Welcome back, watchers and listeners, to another Christmas episode of What We Watch.
What?
This week, we are watching what some would consider a Christmas classic, but we'll get into that later, Die Hard. I am your host, Garett Christopherson, joined today by my fellow host,
Natalie Brinkerhoff.
Yeah. And today we do have our producer, Jackson, on again. You probably don't see him, but he is here, and he will be helping us in our chat. So, shout out Jackson.
Jackson.
Jackson. I should have
Shout
done
out
some
Jackson.
vocal exercises.
We've missed ya.
Yeah, we've missed Jackson, friend of the pod.
Number one fan. He mostly just does this for early access.
Yeah,
He
to
just
get an
gets too
insight on the
excited.
conversation. Anyways, so to just jump right into it. Before we get into Die Hard, let's talk about what have we been watching in between. So, Natalie, what have you watched the past few weeks?
I made fun of you last week for forgetting that we do this, but I forgot this week. I've been watching lots of stuff. Last night we watched the holiday touchdown, A Bill's Love Story, a Hallmark movie about
That's a
the
title
Buffalo
and
Bills.
a half.
It's a title and a half. And it was your typical your typical Hallmark movie, but incorporated the Buffalo
The
Bills.
Bills.
Josh
Was
Allen
Josh
unfortunately
Allen
did
there?
not make an appearance, so
Oh.
that was a bummer.
Pointless.
But that was fun, and then I went and saw Wicked.
Mm-hmm.
And that was good. Wicked Part 2. Wicked for good, one might say. Enjoyed that. There was a couple other things that I've been watching. Obviously, Dancing with the Stars. I was so sad about Whitney going home. That might be a hot take. But that was a bummer. And I'm still mad about it. But I didn't think she was going to win. And I do think it will be between Alex and Robert this week. So excited to see where that goes.
Shout out.
Oh,
Robert.
I also watched a very Jonas Christmas movie.
Oh, yeah, I
Jonas
saw that
Brothers
on your
Christmas
letterbox.
movie.
I was going to ask, and I almost forgot.
It,
Was that any good?
It was so good because it just knew what it was.
Uh-huh.
And, it just kind of it brought back decom vibes, but now. So I felt like they did a good job with it.
Yeah. All I've seen is there's that one quote where it's they're all together. I don't even know the context, but I think it's Kevin's I want to sing, and Nick's right now. It's no, and a song or whatever.
I want to be the lead singer in a song. Yeah, no, it's actually so funny. If you like the Jonas Brothers, if you like that kind of just totally unserious vibe, it's pretty good. Just silly.
Yeah.
And there's some crazy cameos in it that I was not expecting. So
Really?
every 5 seconds I was like, what? They're in this? So it's kind of funny. But yeah, what have you been watching?
So I watched as well. Actually, I'll save that one for the end because I think we'll have a few thoughts on Wicked for Good since it's a new release. But before we talk about that, I watched Charlie Brown Thanksgiving yesterday. I've been a big fan of, as I have said before, Great Pumpkin and the Christmas one. I don't really remember ever watching the Thanksgiving one.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen
And
that.
it's not as good as the other two, in my opinion, but it's still charming. It's still the Peanuts. It's still Charlie Brown. And then I just finished rewatching Stranger Things, prepared for heartbreak in the coming days.
Yeah, but it can't be too much heartbreak with just part 1, right?
I don't know. I have seen no spoilers. There's really no spoilers that I have and not that I'm looking for, that I have seen from the premiere. But all I have seen from the premiere is people who watched it were whoa, in both good and bad ways. Not bad as in oh, this sucked, but bad as in this is kind of crazy that these
bad.
things are happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, Stranger Things season 4.
I'm scared. Please
so
don't
good.
kill Steve.
Honestly, I think I'd be shocked if Steve dies at this point.
I just love him. I literally have a Funko Pop of him on my dresser
Really?
up there. Yeah.
Joe Keery, we love you. Friend of
We
the
love
pod.
you.
Come on.
A friend of
Anytime
the pod.
you want. Yeah.
Joe's our first guest.
And then
One day.
I think I mentioned this on the last episode. Maybe I didn't. I can't remember. But watch the new Predator Badlands. Good.
I saw
movie.
that on your letterbox.
Good movie. Ironically, very similar to Die Hard in a lot of ways. Like feels very similar to Die Hard. Not in the sense of like the Predator stuck in a building on Christmas, but just like similar vibe of action movie, just fun time action movie with like a lot of heart kind of thing.
Nice.
So really
I know
good.
zero about that movie, so
It's really fun. It's like Elle Fanning's really good in it. They made
Didn't know
like
she
a
was in
Predator who's normally like the villain of everything he's in. They made a Predator like a protagonist. Not a Predator as in a Predator like in our modern terms, but like an alien Predator. And they made one of them a protagonist. Really good. He's a solid protagonist. But everybody should watch that if you're interested at all in Predator or you just like good action movies. And then finally, Wicked for Good, which I thought was good. I didn't like it that much. Like compare the first one, it's funny because the first one I went in thinking this isn't for me. I'm not going to like this, and walked out like that was so good. That was insane. I loved every second of that. Whereas I went into this one wanting to like it and walked out and was kind of like, nah, kind of boring.
which I've heard a lot of people say that, and that's how I feel about the play.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
the first act I'm like is so good, and then the second act is kind of like, oh, so that's how we're ending it. And I don't think
Yeah.
that that's an uncommon experience, but since I knew that, like going into the second movie, I felt like it was exactly like it met my expectations exactly, and then
Definitely.
the added stuff was like, okay, good,
Yeah.
love it. Like it just felt like it was I don't think I liked it as much as the first one by far, but like I did like the experience of the movie more than I liked of the Broadway play. Sue me.
Yeah.
Sue me.
I was expecting because like I've seen the play as well. It's great. The musical is fantastic. At least the first act is fantastic. Second act has some moments, but overall, as you said, it's very common knowledge that Act 2 of Wicked is not as good as Act 1 of Wicked. But I was still expecting like because they changed some stuff in the first movie to make it a better narrative, and I was expecting something similar where they did change a few things. Specifically, got to shout out the way they did the Tin Man. I thought was really cool. I really liked how he was like almost scary. And there's that moment in like the March of the Witch Hunters or whatever, where he has like his solo, and then he looks
Yeah.
up at Glinda, and Glinda looks down at him, and they have that like moment where they look at each other, and you can just see like the resentment and like hatred in his eyes. And that scene, like SpongeBob ate that up. Ethan Slater ate that scene up. That was so good. But I don't know. I think I won't get into spoiler territory, even though I kind of just did. If you know who Ethan Slater is, for the 3 people who don't know, who listen to this podcast,
Anybody
that
who
don't
would be
know
worried
Wicked,
about spoilers should hopefully have
yeah,
already
should
seen
already
Wicked.
have seen it. But Scarecrow Fierro, I didn't really realize how Fierro as the Scarecrow doesn't really make a whole lot of sense until the movie, because I realized after doing research on it that a lot of people are like, that doesn't really make sense because just logistically speaking, Dorothy has left Munchkinland, and then so in the original story in the movie that the play is trying to like riff off of, she immediately meets the Scarecrow like right after she leaves Munchkinland, but then the Scarecrow's not even there yet, and to be put in her path, the guards would have to have like walked past her, beat him up, and killed him before she even gets there. And then there's some other things, but anyways, you can nitpick Act 2 of Wicked all the live long day. Overall, I just thought I was expecting a little more, but it was still good. Like, it wasn't bad. I just think I will definitely be revisiting the first movie in the future. I don't know if I'll ever really revisit For Good in the future.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I liked them both. Like, I'll definitely, I think watching them back to back is probably the move. Like,
Yeah.
just getting both of them. I mean, it would be a long back to back movie, double feature, but in the future, I feel like when I do revisit it, I'll probably be like, I have to watch both of them right now, because
Yeah.
I feel like to appreciate the second one, it has to be like a continuous story.
Immediately followed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, makes sense.
Anyways, well,
But yeah,
great.
Wicked.
Wicked for Good.
Wicked for bad. Just kidding. It was good. Anyways, so let's get into the movie today. So is my pick, which is the very famous Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Let me read a synopsis real quick. This is,
Dun,
I'm going to
dun,
switch it
dun.
up. Instead of looking up on Google, I'm just going to read the Letterboxd one. It says,
Ooh.
there's always a tagline, and then it does the description, so I'm going to read it. 12 terrorists, 1 cop. The odds are against John McClane. That's just the way he likes it. And then it says, NYPD cop John McClane's plan to reconcile with his estranged wife is thrown for a serious loop when minutes after he arrives at her office Christmas party, the entire building is overtaken by a group of terrorists. With the help from the LAPD, wisecracking McClane sets out on a single-handed rescue to save the hostages and bring down the bad guys. Die Hard is starring Bruce Willis, Alan Rickman, Bonnie Bedelia, I think is how I say her name, Reginald VelJohnson, and a bunch of other people. Directed by John McTiernan, who is a very famous action director from the 80s. But rip.
Kate, before you begin, I have several things to say.
Yes.
Great job with the voice acting. I think
Of course.
you should go into that. Second, I'm just putting together that Reginald Val Johnson, whatever his name is, he was on Dancing with the Stars last season.
Really?
And I did not put together that was the cop until you just said that. And I am just blown away and so happy.
Really?
Because he's like old and he was on
Yeah.
it for like 3 weeks and then got voted off and he like literally could not dance at all. Like his pro like would do circles around him. And I remember them talking about that, but for some reason it completely left my mind when I watched the movie. But I loved him in this movie. Like he killed it.
He's so
Anyways,
good.
he's so good. Like that was one of my favorite characters. Anyways, shout out Reginald.
Shout out Reginald. And so I have a bunch of questions here. I have a bunch of facts, a bunch of thoughts. But before we jump into that, Natalie, just what are your overall Die Hard thoughts, your experience watching this?
I thought it was great. My overall experience was lovely. I'm not like a super into action movies. We've established this in previous podcast episodes, but like that's like not my go-to. But I like I thought this one was super fun. I do like these types of movies, like Speed. You know, like where it's like it feels like it's like one man against like this like crazy threat and he has to do all the work, you know. Yes. Yeah. Like I like that kind of thing for some reason. Like I always think that that's super entertaining. I've seen a couple of those that I've enjoyed. So I thought that this one was really fun. And just the vibes were fun and I think I gave it a rating on Letterboxd that I want to change because yesterday I think I was sitting with my family and I was like, I kind of want to watch Die Hard again. Yeah. Like it's just like one of those movies where I'm like, that was
you can
great.
Just rewatch it.
Like I want to see that again. So, anyways, I think it was fun.
So, if you don't mind me asking, and this is a podcast, so you have to respond. What makes a movie like Die Hard enjoyable for you versus a movie like John Wick, where it's like somewhat similar idea but different execution? So, what is the difference between those two things?
I think something about like having maybe it's like the hostage situation. I really don't know. Like I think because I wonder if it just like it's just like case by case basis where, and I feel like John Wick was a little bit more
it was a little bit more intense,
violent
not as
and intense. Yeah. Whereas like I like the movies like this where there's kind of like, I think you said at the beginning with like talking about Predator and in relation to this movie that it like has heart. And I don't feel like when I'm watching an action movie like John Wick that I'm like obviously he has a purpose and he's not a bad guy and he's trying to like
avenge his
get
dog
vengeance. Yeah. Like there's nothing about that that's wrong necessarily, but I just like having added character and heart to it where it's like I feel like I'm connected like after watching this, I was like, I'm rooting for John McClane. Like I love him, you know. And I think maybe it's something about like the whole cop situation, something about like a retired cop or like a cop. Like I don't know what it is where I'm just like, yes, like go do it. Kind of against all odds, one man show, but like he's trying to save all these people. Like I'm like, I like that kind of thing.
Definitely, and I think that kind of. I'm not saying John Wick needs to be like this because I love John Wick. I think it's great, but whereas John Wick is a very like this is a trained assassin. He doesn't really crack that many jokes. He's just like I'm a clean house and that's what I do.
Yeah,
John
and
McClane
that's not entertaining to me.
Yeah, John McClane is very much like the everyman, where it's like his commentary throughout the movie is hilarious. Like I was hearing people talk about this a little bit ago, but this is a movie filled with one-liners. Like there's so many one-liners, but it's funny because it's not one-liners in the same sense. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger will deliver one-liners or Sylvester Stallone will deliver one-liners. It's not like get to the chopper or anything like that.
It's not like himbo.
Exactly.
Like, dumb.
It comes from the character, not just the writing. Like it feels very much like, oh, John would say that or Hans would say that, not because like, oh, it's just a funny one-liner, but it's like, of course he would say that. Like the very famous Yippee-ki-yay, mother trucker, doesn't feel like
nice censoring.
Yes, for the PG audience, but if Arnold delivers that line, it's a lot more on the nose and a lot more like, oh, that's weird. But him delivering that line is very natural.
It's a little bit more like cartoonish if like Schwarzenegger does it, because it's like it's not as like serious and it doesn't like John McClane would say that. And he does, and he says it, and he delivers it in a good way. Yeah. And I think like because I've heard that before, like as quoted from Die Hard, but getting to watch it, it sounds cheesy before, and then getting to watch it, I'm like, oh, it actually is like it's a good line.
Yeah, it's a really good line.
Because in the context, it's like, oh, this is making sense, and it's really good.
He's like kind of making fun of Hans, like throwing it back in his face kind of thing.
Totally, yeah. Whereas before, when I've heard the line, I've been like, what is Die Hard even about? Like, just anyways. But then getting to watch it and experience it, I liked it a lot.
Definitely. And just on the topic, since we're talking about him, on the topic of John McClane, honestly, I don't know if the line delivery, Bruce Willis, like the delivery of the line when he's on the phone or on the radio with the like cops on the radio or whatever, not like before Al even shows up, Officer Pal shows up. It's when he's talking to the ladies, and the girl's like, "Don't you like this is a emergency line only? Like, please get off." And he goes like, "No, I've been shiz, lady. What do you think I'm doing? Ordering a pizza?" The way he delivers that line is good. Honestly, for me, like top 5 funniest line deliveries in a movie. I had to like rewind it a few times because it's just like
so good.
The anger in his voice and just like the "What do you think I'm doing, woman?" Like it's so funny.
Like, why are you not taking me seriously? Yeah, and I like that the just kind of like feeling of watching a character having to be really smart about the way that they're doing things and then seeing them do that. I feel like that's what makes action movies entertaining for me, isn't the actual action, but like watching them work through how to fix something. And I think you see that a lot more in this than like a John Wick type movie where they're just kind of like going after people and he's just highly skilled in killing people, whereas this he's highly skilled in problem solving
and just survival.
And that's why I think I like it a little bit more. Yeah, survival. I think I like survival more than I like action. And so if you're put in a survival situation, then I'll eat it up. In fact, I love Survivor, and I've been watching that recently too.
But you bring up a good point, because something about this movie that, I mean, is part of the reason, if not one of the main reasons it's so iconic, is how like smart everyone is. Like both John and the villains are so smart. Like there isn't, in my mind, there isn't really a moment that I can think of that like bothers me of like, why did you do that? Or like, what are you doing? It's all like they make such smart decisions. Like for example, when Hans gets like caught by John and he immediately pretends to be one of the hostages, like genius. And then when John figures it out that he's Hans and like gives him the unloaded gut, and then he tries to like shoot him with it, and it just clicks. Like so satisfying.
Also, him trying to figure out if he's actually telling the truth and looking at like, what's your name? And then he's looking at the name board, and obviously he came up with a intelligent answer, but then again, he outsmarted him with the gun and everything. So yeah, that scene was really cool. I liked that part.
So on the topic of Hans, I was going to save this till later, but Hans Gruber, is Hans Gruber the best action movie villain ever?
Are you asking me?
Yes. I know you're not a big action movie fan.
I was going to say, I don't feel qualified
in your
enough.
memory, like from the action movies you've seen, we can include like maybe like superhero movies in this, since those are kind of action movies depending on the one. But like, is there really any villain that you think like really reaches the same heights as? Well, firstly, what do you think of Hans? Before we talk,
he said backtrack.
Yeah.
I thought he was great. I feel like, as you were asking me this question, first I don't feel qualified to give an answer, so I'll turn it back around on you, and you can answer if he's the best.
Yeah.
Because for me, I'm not one to like compare villains, except for if I really hate them. Like if I'm like, that was a lazy villain. But like, I don't really like think of villains in the same sense as I feel like you and some of my other guy people in my life, like my brothers and my dad and whoever else, cousins. Like, I think you guys are good at looking at villains and ranking them, whereas I'm just like, that's a villain. Yeah. So I'll let you kind of answer that. But I thought he was great in this movie. Like, I was never at any point feeling like he wasn't good. You know? Like, I'm feeling like he could be a better villain or do something differently. I liked his arrogance in this movie, where it was always, we're gonna take out this guy. Or, like, the police were supposed to be here anyways, like, I'm not worried about it. He always felt like he was in control until he wasn't. And so I liked that part where he just was so confident, because that's what I like in a villain, is just, I'm doing it, and nothing's gonna throw me, because I already planned for all of it. So I thought that was good. But yeah.
Yeah, I think Hans is probably, in my opinion, one of the best action movie villains, if not like.
Because what would you compare him to? Because I can't even think of another villain.
Yeah, like I'd compare him to like villains from Speed, or even like again like John Wick movies, like just villains. I feel like Hans Gruber is one of the just iconic villains, one of the most influential villains too. Like, you see so many other, like, even in and out of action movies. I mean, you could probably quote me, or you could probably say that there's some before this, but I think Hans Gruber is like the first like really good like charismatic villain. Like, I'm sure there's some old movie, some Western, where there's some good charismatic villains as well, but Hans Gruber was the first villain where it's like, you love to like watch this guy. Like, you can't take your eyes off this guy, because he's just so like, not just because he's evil, but also he's just like funny. He's just arrogant. He just is so confident. He's a good leader. Like, there's so much about him, and just Alan Rickman's performance that is so entertaining.
Yeah, he killed it.
Exactly. But kind of leads me to my first question, which is, if you were a member of the Hans Gruber crew. This sounds like it was from ChatGPT. This is from the Dome. If you're a member of the Hans Gruber crew, what would your quirk be? Because all of them have like some sort of quirk. Like, that one guy talks in a Texan accent. The Asian dude like gets chocolate before they get into that gunfight. There's Theo, who's like the black guy, like technology guy, who I love. All of them. There's the long-haired Russian or German guy. Like, all of them has their quirks. So what would your quirk be if you were in the Hans Gruber terrorist, not terrorist group?
The only thing coming to my brain is that I'd probably be listening to like boy band music or something.
Yeah, like
I'd be listening to
1D.
Yeah. I'd put in the AirPod before I go be evil.
Yeah.
There's my quirk.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
What's yours?
I feel like my quirk is, I was going to say glasses, but they have glasses guy. That's like the first guy he kills. And it's got to be more than just glasses.
Yeah, you are more than your eyesight, Garrett.
True, it's true. I feel like I'd be. I'd be. I feel like I'm a mix of Theo. Like I'd just be a different variant of that, where I instead of like, I would just be a nonstop. If I were as in an action movie where everything's above and beyond, I would just be the character everybody gets annoyed of because I just keep saying like pop culture references, like, "Oh my gosh, this is just like Rambo," or "Wow, this is just
I like that. You're
Yeah.
just quoting other action movies while in
Yeah,
an action
exactly.
movie. You know,
Exactly.
that's on brand for you, I feel.
Which is funny because they do kind of do that in this movie, like the whole
Yeah,
in the
they
Yippee-ki-yay scene, they even call
yeah.
him like Rambo and stuff.
Yeah, he's
and
like,
Roy
you've seen too
Rogers.
many movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I would take that and just encapsulate it.
I love it.
But yeah, that's something I really love about all of these villains is each of them have like some sort of quirk that makes them stand apart from the
Yeah.
rest.
And that it's like it's kind of humanizing them in a way
Yeah, exactly.
where you're like, oh, like the chocolate part, you're like, my
Like,
dad
oh.
said something funny, or maybe it was my mom. I can't remember. I was sitting by them, and they were like, imagine performing this big heist and then looking around to make sure nobody catches you eating chocolate before you do, you know?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, maybe he's just embarrassed. He didn't want anybody to see that he needed a little snacky.
Yeah. I was reading
Anyways.
in the fun facts that I read. So this movie it's another instance of a movie that got Iron Man is another example where like it was very heavily improvised. Like they had a script, but it was
that's
kind of
fun.
constantly being rewritten as they went.
Yeah.
And so the actor who played, what's his name? I can't remember his name, but the actor who played the Asian guy who grabs the chocolate, he went up to the writer and like asked him if he could do that. Like that was just like his spur of the moment idea. And just wanted to make sure that was okay. And then
Yeah.
the writer said that because he asked and because he was so respectful about it, that made his character like survive like at least 15 pages longer.
Hey,
Because
there
he's one
you
of like
go.
the last bad guys to die. And it's just because he probably would have died earlier, but it's just
he had a
because
good
he was
idea.
like, yeah, had a good idea.
That's funny.
But yeah, leads me to my next question. I got a list of these.
I'm so
but
excited.
who do you think is the best side character? And I have a couple listed. We got
Okay, tell
Argyle,
me.
limousine driver. We got
Okay.
Sergeant Powell. We got Agent Johnson and Agent Johnson. We got Theo, who's the like technician guy of the whole operation.
Yeah.
And then we got Ellis, the coked up employee who gets killed.
That guy, man.
When he says, Hans, Bubby, I'm your white knight.
My faves are Argyle. And is it Powell? Agent Powell?
Yeah.
Those are my faves. And especially knowing that Powell is Reginald Val Johnson. He has an extra special place in my heart. You need to look up on TikTok a video of him on Dancing with the Stars after this, because now you will understand why I just love it so much. And Argyle,
Is
I
he
think,
worse
is just
than
so
Andy?
iconic. Like by a million. Like so bad. And like I love him. He was kind of like he was a similar Andy situation where he kind of went on a little, not like crazy
Longer.
long like Andy
Yeah.
did, but he was into it like 3 or 4 weeks and people were like, he's gotta go.
Yeah.
So anyways, him, and I just like his connection with John, like the back and forth throughout the movie. I think you just kind of latch onto them and like them being like a partnership and working together.
Definitely.
So I think that one just hits a lot close to home, and his like pregnant wife and stuff and all that good stuff. I like seeing his backstory. And then I think Argyle's just hilarious. Like him
Yeah.
just chilling in the back of the limo, like calling people up and just living his best life. And he's like, I'll just chill down here. And then once he realizes the situation he's gotten himself into, he's like, yo, what's going on? And
Yeah.
then he like low-key saves part of the day. He like runs the limo into the getaway truck. Anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are your faves?
I think probably I love Theo. I don't know why. I just think he's really
Yeah, I can
like,
tell.
funny.
He is funny.
Just-
Just
He's
like
so
anytime he's on
charismatic.
screen. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's like he's like almost like the villain that you're rooting for where you're like,
Yeah.
okay, like you're doing a crappy thing, but like why do I
Mm.
like you? Yeah.
Yeah. Theo's great. I really love Powell. I think like him and John's relationship kind of becomes the heart of the movie.
For sure. Yeah.
Like when they see each other at the end and
Yeah.
they
It's
recognize each
like
other like without even hearing each other's voices. Like it's so like wholesome.
they're just like it's like almost a romantic shot too. It's so
Yeah.
funny. They're both just like my guy.
While
The
he's with his
bromance
wife
goes
and stuff.
hard.
It's so good. So I love Agent Powell, and they're not in it enough, which is such a shame because the Johnsons are so funny.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I'm Special Agent Johnson, and I'm Special Agent Johnson. No
Yeah,
relation.
it's funny. No
So
relation.
good.
It's so funny.
And then this is Agent Johnson. No, the other one. It's just they're so good, and how they're just like when they're like flying the helicopter over, and he's like, I'm thinking only like 25% hostages like get killed.
Yeah.
And then the other one's like, I'm okay with that. Like they just don't care.
Yeah.
I think they're so funny.
Yeah, no, it's
Um,
good.
Also, we didn't really talk about him a lot, but people really love Ellis because he's just goofy and stupid. And that scene where he's like trying to negotiate with Hans is really good because it shows you a lot about like John's character.
Yeah.
Because John immediately knows like, oh, this guy's an idiot. He's gonna get himself killed, and he's like
Yeah.
trying to convince Hans like, don't do it. I don't know this guy at all. Like he's just an idiot. Like don't kill him.
Yeah.
And he's just trying his best to save this guy who he knows is probably hitting on his wife, and he like doesn't
Yeah.
like is just an idiot, but he's still trying to save him. Like it's a very good character moment for John in that scene.
Yeah, I also think with him, I mean, he's not my favorite because he reminds me of Sales Bros, you know? That's what
Exactly.
he
Yes.
is.
Exactly.
And so it's just like you're watching him and you're just like, oh gosh, like shut your mouth. Like just the guy that's like, I got this. I know how to negotiate. And you're like, actually shut up and sit down because you're clearly not going to help anybody,
Yeah.
especially yourself. But he just has this like cockiness to him where he's like, I got this.
Yeah.
So I didn't like, I like that his character was included, but definitely not my favorite side character. Get him out of
Definitely.
here.
Also,
That
shout
was
out...
not sad when he died. Sorry.
It's just like, oh, Sales Bro's dead.
I'm like,
Whoopee.
if anybody was
Yeah.
gonna die, see ya.
Yeah. I wanted to shout out John's wife. I can't even remember her name, but
Holly.
I think she's like, yeah, Holly. Like she's
That's like the
so
only one
good.
I remember because Christmas.
Like, I wish Holly was like had a little bit more to do because she's just so
Yeah.
solid in this movie.
Yeah, like when she
Um,
comes over to Hans and is like, "This is what I need." He's like, "Who put you in charge?" And she's like, "You, actually."
Yeah, like she's just not
Yeah.
taking his crap, and she
Yeah.
believes that her husband can save them,
Yeah.
and it's just so good. I know she's has a bigger role in the other, in at least the second one. Did you know they made
How
more of
many
these?
are there? I knew that there was a second one because when I was looking on TikTok, I saw the scene of him on the side of the street with, what's his name? Oh gosh,
Hal?
No, Samuel L. Jackson.
But yeah, that's so. There's Die Hard. There's Die Hard 2, which is Die Harder, I think. Then there's Die Hard with a Vengeance, which is the third one
That's
with
the
Samuel
one
L.
with
Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson.
And then there's Live
How
Free or
have they
Die
made
Hard or
this
something.
many movies?
Because this movie is probably one of the most influential action movies and just movies of the 20th century. And just looking into it and thinking about it, there are so many, specifically with the action genre, but there are so many movies that this movie has inspired. Just to list a few based on my internet research. Speed is very much inspired by Die
For
Hard.
sure, yeah.
It's directed by the cinematographer of this movie, actually. Air Force One with
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's Harrison
another one I've
Ford.
seen. Harrison Ford. Mm-hmm.
Cliffhanger, which is a Sylvester Stallone one. Con Air, Under Siege. Just any movie where a random person gets stuck in a crazy situation is related to Die Hard in some
AKA
way.
my favorite type of.
Yeah, favorite type of action movie.
AKA my favorite type of action movie. Sorry.
And then there is a term in the film world that is, this movie is just Die Hard on a blank, or this is Die Hard with blank.
Yeah, Die Hard on a train, Die Hard on a
Yeah.
plane. Yeah.
Exactly. So this movie, and there's like tons and tons of
There's
other ones.
and then there's that new one that came out on Netflix with like Sophia Carson and what's his
Hmm.
face. That one I enjoyed too in the airplane. It's the
Yeah, I haven't
TSA
seen that one
agent
yet,
one.
but
You
that's
know,
Taron Egerton is
it's
in that
not
movie.
yes, that's
Yeah.
him. It's not quality, but if I'm going to
Mm.
watch it like I think I watched it with Jill and Annie last year and we just thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
Like just the most chaotic you
Hmm.
can get.
And it
Anyways.
really like Die Hard. Just speaking to that point, what's so good about Die Hard, I think, is it's real. There's really no deeper meaning to it. It's just like this is a fun action movie. Like it's a turn off your brain movie, but in a good way.
Yeah.
This isn't about like there's not sure there's some subtext like when Hans dies, it's because they unlatched the Rolex that she got or whatever. But even then, it's like, is there really subtext to that, or is it just like an interesting point, like, or just like a fun point
Yeah.
that like, oh, they have to take off the Rolex or whatever?
Yeah, you
Like
don't have to think too hard about this movie in the
exactly, you just
slightest.
watch it and you just have fun. And I think a lot of critics and people have talked about how Die Hard is a really good kind of just example of sometimes movies can just be fun. Like you don't
Yeah.
like even critics are like you don't need to have every single movie have some crazy life-changing deeper meaning. Sometimes they can just be fun and goofy,
Yeah. And they
like
can still be
just
good.
entertaining. Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, Die Hard is such a good example of simple concept but brilliant execution. Like a movie that is just like the idea is very simple, it's very basic, just fun, and then you just execute that on the highest level with the
Yeah.
best people. And it's Predator Badlands is that's why I think it's I compare it because it's the same thing where it's a very simple concept executed very well.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is we could talk about this movie's influence all the live long day because it has influenced so much. A lot more big actors were willing to become villains after watching Alan Rickman in this movie. Um,
Interesting.
this was his first movie. He was a big TV and theater guy
Oh,
before,
really?
and he was initially against making this movie or being cast in this movie because he said, "I don't want to be typecast as a villain for the rest of my life," which ironically he kind of was. Um, but it's
You
because his
love with the
performance was so
choices you
good.
make.
Yeah. But after this movie, a lot more actors were just according to IMDb and stuff. A lot more big actors were willing to play the villain role because they realized after seeing him, like, oh, being a villain, one, it flexes my acting chops more because I'm not just being
Yeah.
like the hero, but two, I also get to seem to have like a lot more fun because I can just
Yeah.
ham it up.
It's like you can just you just like lean into it.
Exactly.
I love it.
Um, and then just while we're at the facts, this movie also launched Bruce Willis into stardom. He was already like a comedic guy, but people didn't really see him as anything else besides
Like
comedy.
more serious.
Yeah. And then he did this movie, and then that just blew him up. Which ironically, he was one of the
Blew him up.
later. Yeah, that is pun intended. Um, it's funny because he was one of the last people considered for the role. Like they pretty much went through every major male actor in Hollywood and asked them to star in this movie, like Harrison
they all were
Ford,
like, nah.
Arnold, Sylvester Stallone. None of them really wanted to do it. And then they finally found Bruce Willis. And I don't think the movie works if it's anybody else.
Yeah.
Like I love
Not as
Arnold,
iconic.
I love Harrison Ford, but this isn't their movie. Like Bruce Willis makes John McClane such a like down to earth funny guy that I don't think the other guys could. They'd ham it up a little bit more.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And then my last fact is just adjusted for inflation, the 640 million dollars in this movie would be worth $1,664,492,000 in today's economy.
Oh, that's crazy. Inflation is
Inflation's
wild.
wild.
Get that out of here. Oh my gosh.
That's
wow.
over $1 billion more.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I cannot
So,
believe. Well, cool.
Yeah.
That's
pretty
a lot of
cool.
money. That's a lot of money.
And this movie is very well documented in its making and how the actors had a good time, but also it was like taxing on them and because it's so
Yeah.
physical and so much stuff. But so I could talk about the production of this movie forever. So I'm just going to skip to the big question. Is this a Christmas movie?
I would say yes.
Why?
Well, okay. So I think people for some reason have this like idea of what a Christmas movie has to be.
Yeah.
And me personally, I'm like, it's set at Christmas. There's Christmas music. They mention Christmas many times. There's
The
Christmas
whole plot
imagery.
revolves around Christmas.
There's Christmas imagery. There's Santa. There's Christmas lights. Like, I'm like, what more do you like? And I get that it's not warm and cozy, but not all Christmas movies need to be warm and cozy. Like, I don't understand why people are like, why this is even really a conversation. It's a Christmas movie. Do you have to watch it at Christmas, every Christmas, to make it feel like Christmas? How many times can I say Christmas? No, but like, it's a Christmas movie. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Argue with the wall.
Argue with, like, I don't know how you can even argue that it's not. Other than like, it doesn't feel like a Christmas movie. Get out
Shut
of
up.
here.
Grow up.
Get out of here.
Grow up.
Grow
Yeah.
up. It doesn't feel like a Christmas movie. Well, I felt warm and fuzzy watching it.
Yeah, they
How
play
about
Let It
that?
Snow at the end.
Yeah. Hey, what about that scene when the cop and John fight each other? That's warm and cozy.
Yeah.
What about that?
I think
That's what I have to say.
What cements it for me too is when he gets the machine gun and he says, "Now I have a machine gun." Ho ho
Ho ho ho. Exactly. I'm like, guys, who's saying that this isn't a Christmas movie? And
It's the same. It just doesn't. It's the people who are like, just because it's set in Christmas doesn't make it a Christmas movie.
So? But I think, here's the thing, because I understand that. I understand that, like, just because it's set around Christmas, because I do think that there are a lot of movies that come out around Christmas time, and for one reason or another, they have, like, some sort of, like, Christmas scene. But I think when you're having, like, a movie that is all, like, it's literally, the entire story is on Christmas Eve. Whereas, like, some movies that I think you could argue aren't, have, like, a Christmas scene in it. And it's like, yeah, that's not
definitely.
a Christmas movie. Or, like, it ends at Christmas. Like, okay, yeah, that's not a Christmas movie, sure. But with this, and, like, and I think people are like, well, it has to have, like, Christmas themes or whatever. I'm like, okay, Christmas themes in this.
His marriage. Yeah.
He's rekindling his marriage. He's saving people. Like, what more do you want? Redemption. Like, okay. I don't know. His wife's name is Holly.
As in Holly Jolly.
As in Holly. The Christmas thing.
I feel like this movie is... The comparison has been made that Home Alone is just kid Die Hard. Obviously,
Totally.
Home Alone's a lot... Like, Christmas is a lot more central to that plot, but even still...
For sure.
There's a lot of Christmas similarities between those two movies where, like, the movie doesn't have to be one for one, like, this is about Christmas for it to be a Christmas movie.
It doesn't have to be Elf. It doesn't have to be Santa Claus for it to be Christmas movie. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer for it to be a Christmas movie. And, like, that's kind of how I feel. I'm like, there's so many iconic Christmas films that we watch that have very little to do with Christmas. Like, watch It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
I'm
Christmas
sorry.
is at, like, the end of that movie.
I'm sorry. That is, like, there's not a lot of Christmas in it. Do I still think it's a Christmas movie? Absolutely. But, and there's, the themes in that are for sure Christmassy. Like, you get the whole vibe. It's iconic. But you could argue that with this movie too, right? Anyways, so that's where I'm like, why are we arguing that things aren't Christmas movies? Shouldn't you want more Christmas movies? And
Exactly.
and guess what? Now Die Hard gives you one for those who want to watch something that is a little bit more intense. So, anyways, that's what I gotta
Bars.
say.
I'm very happy because I was completely ready to, like, argue this point. But
No, I'm arguing it for you.
Yeah. I think, ironically, you might disagree with this just because of the nostalgia factor, which I don't have with While You Were Sleeping, but I felt more in the Christmas spirit with this movie than I did with While You Were Sleeping. Both Christmas movies, mind you. I'm not saying that it's not, but
That's
I
valid.
felt more Christmassy for whatever reason.
I could see that because I think, here's the thing. While You're Sleeping is a Christmas movie. And I will not argue that any further. Go listen to us on the
Yeah,
last
go listen to our
episode if you
other
want to hear
episode.
that. But like this one has more like Christmas stuff in it, where you see a lot more of like the Santa Claus ho 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 Christmas music, like iconic Christmas music that you hear. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, sure, that can put you more in a Christmas spirit than while you were sleeping. Great. Whatever puts you in the mood.
Whatever floats your boat.
Whatever floats your boat. Whatever gets you excited to have it be the Christmas season, I'm happy for you.
Definitely.
And I think a lot of people feel that way about this movie.
Sure.
And I honestly don't think I'd watch this movie at any other time of the year.
That's what I was gonna say. Like,
So-
sure, I could watch it during the summer, but like that
It
feel
would
wrong.
not hit the same. And if I feel like I can't watch this movie except for at Christmas time or when I'm like, I need Christmas, then that's a Christmas movie.
Exactly. So we're on the right side. If you disagree, you're wrong. So
If you disagree, like Garrett said earlier, go talk to the wall.
yeah, argue
You're
with
wrong.
the wall.
Because honestly, I literally don't know how anybody argues that it's not. Because I think every argument against
be
it being a Christmas
countered.
movie can be countered
Yeah.
better. So,
Yeah, with a
Anyways.
better argument. Anyways.
anyways, that was way too long. But
So let's do.
you catch our drift.
Yeah, but that's good because this is a big heated debate for whatever reason. So it's good that you have our stance now, everybody. You know where we stand on this stupid argument.
Yes. It is a
but
stupid argument.
let's do our casting dream squad.
You know, I literally did not prepare for this. So,
That's okay. Off the
you
dome.
know what?
Dome
Off the
piece it.
dome.
So let's go down the line. Let's do like the main characters. So, John, who you casting as John? I know this
John
movie
off
works so
the
well
dome.
because of the cast, but if you had to off the dome somebody,
I don't know. Okay, tell me who's in yours, and then maybe that'll inspire me. Wait, what about he might be a little too old for it now, but like if we can cast anybody in, like I think
Yeah.
RDJ could maybe do it good,
yeah, I think RDJ.
or maybe he's not rough and tough enough.
Yeah, he's not in, like I think he could definitely be. He could either be. He could be a potentially good Hans. Like it,
Ooh,
he'd
that's a
definitely
good
be
idea.
very,
Yeah, if you-
very
if we
different
make him a
version of
villain.
Hans. Yeah, very different
Yeah.
version.
Okay,
But I feel like he's too like suave to be John.
you're right. You're right. Why was that
Um,
okay? Let me think of somebody else.
I know I already said this last week, and I don't want to just reuse the same guys over and over again. But again, different version. But I feel Miles Teller could be a good John.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I think
Mm-hmm.
Miles Teller or like even Glenn Powell. Maybe he's too pretty
Mm-hmm.
for it, but
Glenn Powell would be Ellis. Ellis.
Ellis. Yeah, there you
Mm-hmm.
go. He's kind of that character in Dark Knight.
Yeah, I was about to say he's Ellis in Dark Knight Rises, so it fits.
Let me think. I'm trying to think.
I think he's a little young. Give him a few years, but aforementioned friend of the pod, Joe Keery, I think could be a good John.
I love that actually.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go off. That's great. Nobody's sticking out to me as like, yes, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to think of somebody like 20 and 30. I'm using Google.
Yeah.
Don't sue me.
This is our lessons because this has happened 2 weeks in a row where we're like, oh, this question's great. And then we don't come up with answers for the question before we start recording.
You know what, though? What are you going to do? Sometimes. Do you know what? You know
What?
Dylan O'Brien?
Ooh.
Like,
That's not
he's
bad.
done a
Yeah.
little bit of everything. Like, and he has the comedic timing that I'm like, actually, I think he would kill it.
Yeah.
So I might say that.
I'm just thinking of dudes who I think could be funny, but also.
Have you seen Dylan O'Brien, like, in a comedy situation?
I've seen like clips and stuff of him in comedy.
Like,
stuff,
I
and
think
he's
he
good.
would. I think he could do really good. It
Think
might
of
be a
dudes who
little
could
too
wear a beater.
unserious,
Yeah.
but like in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So That might be my guess. Or my casting. I don't know that I can think.
Jackson says this might be out there, but what about Leo? Leo DiCaprio.
Leo DiCaprio. You know, I think
this movie is. I mean, Leo's done some. I mean, Leo's done something of everything, but I think this might be a little below Leo standards because he's a little pretentious.
He's pretentious for sure.
I love Leo. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if Leo does a Die Hard.
I think my final answer. My final answer is Dylan O'Brien. Take it or leave it. Yeah. I don't know what your opinion is.
I think
maybe Joe Keery.
Yeah, I think Dylan O'Brien. In my mind, I love the guy, but in my mind, he's stayed in his mid-20s for the past 10 years.
But he's not.
I know.
He's in his mid-30s now. Mm-hmm. So put him in a role like this. Let him get, an older role.
Oh, you know what I just thought of? This could be a new question. A question of, it's the same scenario, except there's, like, you throw in different characters in the scenario. For example, this is a thought that I just had randomly. Because I was thinking of actors in the 80s that could do this. And I don't think either of them could in the 80s. But you take Ralph Macchio and William Zabka as Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso from Cobra Kai and put them in a Die Hard situation. And that's one of the funniest movies on the planet. Yeah. That is pure entertainment.
That I could get behind.
Like Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso having to fight not terrorists in an office is hilarious. That could be such a good movie. Dang.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Anyways.
They should have done that on Cobra Kai. Gosh dang it.
Yeah. Die Hard episode.
Mm-hmm. But,
anyways.
So we'll do better on our casting dream team next episode.
Yeah, because I feel
it's also kind of hard for
maybe it just goes.
Movies.
That's what I was gonna say. Maybe it just goes to show that this film, particularly, was casted just so well that it's hard to live up to it. Maybe who needs to play John McClane is somebody that we don't even know, because that's what this movie was basically. True. Somebody fresh to the films.
So,
do we want to cast anybody else, or are we done?
No, I was trying to think of anybody who could play Holly, but I don't know. Like, all the actresses I'm thinking of would need, like, a little more meat to work with, I think.
Well, okay. Next week we'll revisit this segment. We'll lock in. That's our bad. We apologize.
But you tell us who you would cast, especially because a lot of our audience are older and lived during the 80s and 90s. During the era when this movie was
who could have done it?
Huge. So who could have been John, or who could have been John, who could have been Hans?
Or do you agree with us and you can't think of anybody?
Yeah. But our last category, just to kind of wrap it up, let's talk about how the critics think of this movie. Did they get it right? So, Die Hard.
Critics.
On Rotten Tomatoes, both the audience and critics are at 94. Solid. I agree.
Wow.
Rare instance where they agree perfectly.
Yeah, that's actually I don't know that I've ever seen that.
Yeah, I can't to my memory think
like
of
an actual same percentage is crazy.
And then Letterboxd is sitting at a 4.1 out of 5, which I think this movie is a 4.5 out of 5 in my opinion. I don't know why you would say it's below that, or like between 4 and 4.5, I think is exactly where this movie stands.
Which is why, as at the beginning of this episode, I said I need to change my Letterboxd score, because initially I think I put it at a 3.5, but I do want it to be a 4.
Yeah, like
especially
you said,
because I'm like, I want to go watch that again. I don't know that I'll watch it again this year, but I do want to see it. Like, I'm gonna watch it next Christmas.
Definitely. Like, it's funny you said that earlier, because I watched this movie yesterday and I'm like, I just want to watch Die Hard again. It's just such a good, entertaining movie. Yeah. And it's like, it's just fun and it's heartfelt and it's just everything you want in a movie. Exactly. Got it all. And then lastly, IMDb is 8.2 out of 10, which is a mix of critics and audiences, which I think is probably a little low, but like for 8.2, anything above an 8, anything above like 7.5 on IMDb means that you're a pretty good movie. Yeah.
Nice. Critics got it right, in my opinion.
Yep.
Great job, critics.
So to wrap up, Natalie, overall score, what are you giving Die Hard? Popcorn bucket and
Popcorn
butter.
bucket time. If this is your first episode, popcorn buckets is how we score our movies. And we score them based off of the size of the bucket, which is our objective score. So small is bad, the bigger the better. And then our subjective score is how much butter we put on this said popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
The more butter, the better. So, I give this film a large bucket, extra large bucket, and I think I'll put just like normal butter, maybe a little extra.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
It's probably one of my favorite like action movies.
Yeah.
So I'll give it that.
I think I am buying the large collector's Die Hard bucket.
Ooh,
This is the first
that's a
time
good
we're
way to
pulling
put
this
it.
out. Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. Like maybe not extra large, but you just got to get like you got to get the collector's edition.
Yeah. I'm getting the Dune popcorn bucket for Die Hard.
Not the Dune popcorn bucket.
And then I'll give this extra butter. Like I think it's just like I don't want to say it, but I think it's just like a perfect movie.
What
is
more
it
do
the
you
greatest
want?
movie? Is it the greatest movie I've ever seen? No, but it's definitely one of the most fun movies ever that I've seen.
Period.
It just got everything you want. Like what's not to like in Die Hard?
Yeah.
So those are our opinions. We are very popular with everybody else. Everybody seems to agree. Die Hard smacks. Die Hard goes hard, if you will.
Die Hard.
And talk about, we didn't
hard
talk about
for
this.
him to
Die Hard
die.
is such a good title. Like ahead of its time almost. Die Hard.
Well, yeah.
It's just like, what does that even mean?
Did you see my review?
Yeah,
On
it's
Letterboxd?
hard for him to die, I guess.
Yeah. See?
Mm-hmm.
It's good conversation. Why
always
why
think
is
of
it
it-
called Die Hard?
I always have thought of it as like Die Hard, as in like, oh, like if you're gonna die, die hard. Like go out tough, go out in a blaze
Okay.
of glory.
I like it.
Which John almost does multiple times in this movie. So
There you go.
shout out Die Hard. Those are our thoughts on Die Hard. Hopefully you've watched this. If you haven't watched Die Hard, what are you doing? Go watch Die Hard. If
Yes.
you haven't watched it this Christmas yet, do yourself a favor and watch Die Hard. It's so
Yes.
good.
Go have fun.
But Natalie, what will be our next Christmas movie on the pod?
Yes, our next Christmas movie shall be. Drumroll. I'm still thinking of one. I think I want it to be. Santa Claus.
Let's go. I was waiting for that one.
I think that one just like for some reason feels like Thanksgiving week. Like I just want to I really want to throw myself into it type movie.
Yeah. The OG.
So- Yes, the Santa Claus, the first one. Do we want to do 1 and 2? Are they easy enough to watch in between now and next time we record?
I think we could do 1 and 2.
Okay,
Like they're
let's do
short
it.
movies. I don't know if there's
Yeah.
that much to talk about with either of them where it'd be a full length episode. So I think if we do 2, it'll be good.
Great. We're gonna cut 3. I don't love 3, so we'll just not do that one, and we'll just do. I almost said Die Hard 1 and 2. We're gonna do Santa Claus 1 and 2, and we'll be back and let you know what we think. This one I really like. I think it's a fun. You cannot argue this one that this one is not a Christmas movie. So
Yeah. This is through and through a Christmas movie. It's called Santa Claus.
it's
The
about
Claus.
Santa.
Yeah.
So
Anyways, thank you for listening to this episode. If you haven't watched Die Hard, go watch Die Hard. Watch the Santa Claus 1 and 2 in the next 2 weeks when our next episode will be out. And we'll see you in a couple weeks.